Do you have any tips on variegated floss?
Actually, yes. Actually,
on this channel we talk
I'm
about...
the honored guest.
The honored guest.
How about that?
Yes, absolutely. Every time.
Are you ready?
Your cleavage is fabulous.
My cleavage is always fabulous.
Hi there. Welcome to the Notorious Needle. I'm Sarah. I'm the designer. This is Bridget.
I'm Bridget. I'm her mom.
Oh, you're my mom this week or this month?
Yeah. This month I'll be your mom.
Every month she says something different.
Well, yeah.
On this channel we talk about...
I'm the honored guest.
The honored guest.
How about that?
Yes, absolutely. Every time. Here we talk about cross-stitch. Sometimes it is not safe for work or little ears. We tend to use profanity here and there. And sometimes we talk about recent events and how it affects our stitching from a liberal perspective. I just like to let people know right up front.
Yeah, but it's nothing most little ears haven't heard growing up.
Oh, that's not the little ears thing. The little ears things are the F-bombs. Yeah, there's F-bombs.
Well, I've tried to limit those.
Anyway, so thank you for joining us if you're new, and welcome back if you've been here before. So we like to start with your comments. We skipped March because I had my wedding and honeymoon and was overwhelmed. So thank you for letting us take a break.
And note, we went on a cruise for her wedding for a week. Well, actually 8 days. And we're calling it the COVID cruise because
they lifted COVID restrictions after we made our non-refundable deposit. And several people, unfortunately, at our wedding group got COVID. Everyone's okay. Everyone was vaccinated that I know about. And everyone's recovered. But Bridget is still recovering.
Yeah, so if I have to cough and my throat is a little scratchy still, but I'm not contagious anymore, and I'm not even in the mask period anymore.
Nope.
We went by the CDC guidelines.
We did.
But man, that gift that keeps on giving is that awful cough.
Yeah, especially after, a certain age. So if you see weird cuts in the video, it's because I'm cutting out Bridget coughing. You don't need to hear that. Just me. So your comments. Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal wrote, "Oh yes, I need that rope bunny pattern." And I definitely want to do the Dark Goddess Sal, which will show you how far we've gotten so far. She said, "But my buying freeze won't let me, LOL. Darn self-imposed guidelines." That Star Maiden cross stitch is definitely going on the list.
I love the Star Maiden cross stitch, but I didn't give it any love this month, so you won't see it in my whip parade because, yeah, didn't give it any love.
Next time. Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal is doing a buying freeze. I think it's for the year, I want to say.
Really?
I forget. I'm sorry, because I'm not doing it.
You have more willpower than I do.
Well, it's willpower, and, she wants to use the stash she's already got, So, goals.
I've never wanted to just use what I have.
Flavzerna, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, wrote, "Your pup reminds me of mine. She's a pit bull Great Pyrenees mix. She hasn't destroyed a project yet, but she's destroyed a few skeins of floss. I'm now really careful about where I set down my supplies and whips, even temporarily." Girl, same.
Yeah. And you know what Tweezer did?
Tweezer's her...
He's my bird.
He's a conure?
Yeah, he's a pineapple conure. And he likes to validate things with his little beak.
He clips them.
Yeah, and he's flighted, and we let him out of his cage, and he pooped on my Santa table runner. So, that was going to have to get washed anyway, but...
Yeah, well, bird poop is water soluble, right? So it'll come out, probably.
It is washable.
Yeah.
But it's just annoying.
Sonia Sundberg wrote, "The t-shirt looks great. Thank you. I love the Christmas tree. I haven't used the variegated floss before. Do you have any tips when using it? You're the only person I know who would talk about the harder daddy pattern in front of their mom and then have her comment on the lily white butt." Thanks, Sonia.
We do have a good relationship, I think.
Do you have any tips on variegated floss?
Actually, yes. Actually, have you ever known me not to have an opinion?
Yeah, we're opinionated.
Yep. Damn right we are.
We are.
Anyway, yes. My normal tendency is to go straight across with one leg of the cross stitch and then come back across the row with the other leg. And what I ended up doing with the variegated floss is I went complete stitch, complete stitch, complete stitch. And what I tended to do where it was going across and it was 2 or 3 stitches wide, the area, what I would do is I went vertical so that it would stripe across the vertical line.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes, you did top, bottom, then bottom, top, then top, bottom, then bottom, top, like that. Or top, bottom,
No,
top, bottom.
yeah, I actually did a complete stitch, a complete stitch, a complete stitch, went to the next one, a complete stitch, a complete stitch, a complete stitch.
Yeah, so the variegation would flow horizontally.
Exactly.
Whereas if you go row by row, the variegation flows
it would be
vertically.
it would be a horizontal stripe.
Yeah.
Where I didn't want a horizontal stripe, I wanted it to look like a ribbon. And so when
yeah.
ribbon, you have a solid color next to another solid color next to another solid color, and that kept the ombre effect intact.
Right, because the Christmas tree pattern she's talking about, if you watch our previous Flosstube, it looks like a ribbon that's kind of spiraling like this, small at the top, and then it gets bigger in a triangle shape, and it says Merry Christmas.
Maybe you could insert a picture here.
I could insert a picture, yes.
And then they would know
more editing.
But then they would know what we were talking about, and it would make it more, so do complete stitches instead of doing crosses and then going back across crosses.
Good tips.
And then, just look at your pattern. How does the pattern flow? Where do you want the color changes to be? And don't be afraid to take it out if it doesn't look good.
Yeah. Rochelle wrote,
good question, by the way.
I don't do the big fancy cross stitch kits, so I always buy floss at thrift stores. Sometimes I'll get a big bag of yarn too, use it to make pads for the kittens at the Humane Society. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, what a good idea.
That's nice. Let's see. T Tomlinson 329 wrote, for your Mario cross stitch, what about quote unquote level up?
Ah,
that's a good one.
Actually,
so you'll see what she did here.
You'll see what I did, and it was very close to that. Very, very similar to that.
And finally, I just wanted to bring up a comment that we got in the Facebook group. If you're not a part of the Notorious Needle Facebook group, you should join. It's free and it's private. Claire wrote, I'm working on a piece, but I'm to the point where I need to start doing the white bits. And she was asking about the efficacy of using glow-in-the-dark thread. She wanted to know, she's been using single strands and didn't know if it would show up when it's that small. It's 28 count fabric. And she was hoping she could do the back stitching with the glow-in-the-dark floss for some constellations in her pattern. So since, Bridget, you just did Schrodinger's cat, do you have some tips about the glow-in-the-dark floss?
Well, the glow-in-the-dark floss is a little tiny bit thicker than your regular floss. So if you would normally use 2 strands on regular floss,
words.
I know, right? I would recommend trying it with 1 strand just to see how it looks. But, and the glow-in-the-dark floss, much like the metallics, you need to use a shorter thread. And you need to put a little wax on the very, very end and the very, very beginning so it doesn't kind of unravel as you're using it. But I think I would just try a little bit on it, put it in, go in the bathroom, hold it up to the light, shut the light off, see how it glows.
Yeah.
If you like how it looks, great. If you don't like how it looks, add a 2nd strand. See what that does. Especially
on
with
28
outlining.
count though, I don't know that you would want to do 2 strands.
Well, is she doing 1/1 or 2 or 1/2?
I mean, yeah.
If it's 1/2, then it's the same as 14.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So it really depends on how you're doing it. The thing of it is, you got to please you. So
it looks like it's 1/1.
I would try different things.
It's what she's doing 1/1. Yeah, she supplied some pictures in the Facebook group.
It's going to be very tiny.
It's going to be very small.
Well, put it this way: if the glow in the dark looks like white when it's, the white
in
one,
light, it works.
In light, it just looks like white. Right. You really can hardly tell the difference, as you'll see when we get to finishes. So I would just try a couple of different ways and see what you like better.
Yeah, there and some kind folks in the Facebook group gave a few other tips and tricks. So if you'd like to see those, join the Facebook group. If you have questions, everyone in there is super kind, non-judgmental, and very, very helpful if you have any questions about anything. They frequently answer questions before I even see them.
And the Facebook name of the group is Notorious Needle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of a kind. So you don't have to worry about seeing all these other There's only one Notorious needle.
Oh yeah, like trying
Yeah.
to find it is super easy.
Yep.
Yep. So that is your comments.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you so much
those.
for comments, and thank you everybody for the well wishes on our wedding. Everything went well. I did get a little seasick because there was a bit of a chop that day on the water, but the wedding itself was beautiful. Everyone had a great time, and then we had 7 days of partying on a cruise ship, which was a shit ton of fun.
You should insert one wedding picture.
So what I will do is I'll put some pictures from the wedding and maybe a couple of safe for work pictures from the honeymoon at the end of the video.
There you go.
And just to share with you. And thank you so much for the well wishes. We had a good time.
We did have fun.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So after your comments is...
New Stitchy Stuff.
Oh, I wanted to follow up. So new Stitchy Stuff last month. You had a great big bag of floss, and we weren't sure what brand it was. Did you ever find out?
Yes, I did. And I had a lot of questions about it, which I answered.
Oh, yay!
So I'm going to share with y'all. So you may remember I had gotten, this is the big bag of floss that I picked up along with other things. It wasn't even just this, for $2.99 at a local thrift store, which I'm not going to divulge because I don't want everybody to run down there and steal it before I get there.
Most people aren't in Florida. It's fine.
That's true. Anyway, but you should look at your local thrift stores very, very carefully and go through those bags and see, because if you see yarn or something else, sometimes there's floss in there too. But since I use yarn and crochet cotton and everything else, I look at all of them. So this is CXC floss. And what I found out was that CXC floss uses the same color numbers as DMC. And if you look on Lord Libidin's website, and he's one of 3 or 4 that I checked out, some people have done comparisons. The floss is a little bit softer. It is a tiny, tiny bit thicker, I find, than DMC, which kind of explains. Remember, I kept saying to you, I think that DMC had better coverage when I've been
back in the day.
I've been stitching,
especially the black. I feel like the black has gotten thinner over the years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
And maybe some of the reds.
I don't remember how old you are.
Formula on the reds.
But I've been stitching since before you were born.
Yes.
So that's a long time. And I remember that DMC black used to cover full coverage 2 strands over 14 count, because I only did 2 strands over 14 count. You know, that was how everybody did it, as far as I know. But anyway, so the CXC follows the same color pattern. So if you have a number in CXC, like this is 743, this is going to match DMC 743. Now there may be dial-lot variables, but you know what? Every time I buy a new skein of DMC floss and I bobbinate it on top of what I've got left of the old one, or put the old one on top of that, I see variation in the dial-lot.
Well, I see it if it's been several years. If it's been years since I've bought or used that color, I see the Now, I keep my floss in a bin, in a drawer, in the dark. So it's not sun bleached. It's not exposed to any of that.
Exactly.
There is a slight variation from dial-lot to dial-lot that can happen even with DMC. I feel like DMC has a really good control on that. It's rare and it's subtle, and often you don't even notice. Every once in a while you do.
But you know what? There's a really easy fix for that. What you do is your last bit, your last strand, it's like this is long, right? You cut 6 from the old one. You cut a strand of 6 from the new one. You pull 1 thread from each and you blend it. And even when you're doing a solid color pattern, you don't even see the variable.
Okay.
No. And from cool. 2 feet away, nobody can tell.
Right.
So that's how I do it. I do like the old ones at the bottom, and then I have the blended part, and then I have the new one at the top. And I can tell you right now, you can't tell. So that's what I do, and it's always worked. But also, the CXC is color fast.
Yes.
So if you're worried about it not being color fast, nope, it is. And in every way, it's very comparable to the DMC floss. And from what I hear, it's a lot cheaper.
Yes, it is cheaper.
So I have not tried using both on a project. People are of 2 minds about it. Some people go, if you start with one, you just continue with the whole thing. Other people are like, oh, I mix it and it doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to be in the I mix it and it doesn't matter camp, because, I don't, my motto is, if you can't tell from 3 feet away, it doesn't matter. if they're both the same color numbers and they're both color fast and they handle the same way and the skeins are about the same amount on the skein, it's fine.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
So,
except it's China, you know.
Well, there's that.
There's that. It's China.
That. You know, DMC comes from France, and
originally.
Well, where does it come from now?
Well, they have distribution centers all over Europe and in the United States. I think there's like,
but it's still a French company,
one in like New Jersey,
as opposed to a Chinese company.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So that's why I buy it at the thrift store. So I'm not really supporting Chinese companies. There, that's my out.
That's your out. All right, that works. Thank you for that. Let me put my stupid watch on silent. Sorry about that.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. It's because your ears are probably stuffy too.
Probably.
So that brings us to new Stitchy Stuff. Yay! I love new Stitchy Stuff. So I only have one new Stitchy Stuff thing. While we were on our honeymoon in St. Augustine, which I knew was the oldest city in Florida, but I didn't realize it's the oldest city in the United States. Mm-hmm. Established in like 1672, not 1492, because that's when Christopher Columbus landed and
right. No, the
brought
1600s.
Disease and famine and anyway, it was I think it was 1672. St. Augustine was established as a city. Anyway, we were at Aunt Matilda's steampunk trunk shop. There's two. There's one right on St. George Street, which is the main strip, and then there's like a satellite store somewhere else nearby. And my husband bought me these fabulous embroidery scissors.
Those are so cute.
They're like antique style, and they're super sharp, and they're very pointy. So these are great. So do you remember the skull scissors?
Yes.
Those are heavier and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're going to work in my notions thing.
Well, you could always give them back to me because they were
I'm going to use them. But I think these fit perfectly in the notions thing, and they have that like antique style.
Okay.
So they have like pretty flowers and stuff. Anyway, that's my only new Stitchy Stuff is these scissors.
Those are pretty.
I like them. Yeah.
I wonder if I'll get any in my stocking. No,
Your stocking?
Yeah.
For Christmas?
Maybe. No. I buy people Christmas gifts when I go on vacation, but whatever. So I've got some new Stitchy Stuff. So here is my March Bestitch Me Fabric of the Month Club. And this one is called Flan.
Oh, cool. I love dessert names. Hey, wow.
Right?
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
Look how it's like light at the top and then it gets darker towards the bottom.
Yep.
That's really cool.
I love it. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to use this for, but I have something in mind. Oh, yeah, you know what? It probably would work well with that. All right. So I have Fabric of the Month Club from April, which I can't show you yet because I started a project
Stitching on it. Okay.
So I'll show it when we get to whips.
All right.
But I also, when we were in Belize on the cruise, I picked up this little pin, and I pick up a lot of pins because I have a jean jacket. Yes, I'm that old. I have a jean jacket.
Oh, the 80s Batman.
Covered in pins on the front, and it's covered in patches on the back.
Okay.
And in fact, I've run out of room, so either I have to get a bigger jacket, maybe a big ass poncho.
I thought you moved on to like a hat or something.
Oh, I had a hat, but it was too heavy.
Oh,
because all those pins weighed a lot.
Yeah,
but anyway, so this is actually one of the magnets came off the back. Okay, so this is actually a magnet, right? And then I thought, wow, I put another magnet on it, and I turned it into a needle minder.
Does the needle stay on the front? It's
not
pretty
that
thick.
Great because it's plastic, and I'm thinking I got to put a heavier magnet on the back.
Oh, okay.
And then it will. But it's just another idea, right? If you're out and you go on vacation and you find a little magnet, you can make a needle minder out of it. Mm-hmm.
What does it say?
It says Belize, South America, one love.
Aw.
Yeah, because it's got the little guy with
dude in dreads.
The dreads. Yeah, that's what you call them. Yeah.
That's cool.
I thought it was adorable.
Very cute.
Mm-hmm. And then do I have other Stitchy stuff? I do. My other new Stitchy stuff is I bought 2 Stitch-alongs from Witch's Gardens Crafts. So she's.
We have a new addiction.
Oh, we have a new addiction. We have, yeah.
You know what? Hold on 1 second. I'm going to
Sure.
move this microphone. It keeps touching my neck.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what that sounds like, so give me 1 second. Okay, microphone moved.
There we go.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay. Where was I? Oh, so yeah.
Witch's Garden Crafts.
Witch's Garden Crafts is the one that we're doing the Dark Goddess stitch along.
Yes.
And then I was looking online and I saw that she had cups, the tarot cups stitch along.
Right. So it's all the cups cards, all the cups tarot cards.
It's all the cups tarot cards. And I had to buy that one. And that you'll see because that's in my whips because I started it already.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I realized when I was looking at the Facebook page, I should never go down that rabbit hole.
Oh no. What did you do?
That she had the tarot, all the major arcana as a stitch along last year. And then I remembered you asked me about it and I had said, no, it's too big. It's too much, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm doing the cups one. So naturally I had to buy the tarot one. So this is part of like what it looks like. And it's been released. So if you go to Witch's Gardens Crafts,
the whole thing, or that's as far as it's.
Oh no, this is the ornate frame that she released with this part of these cards.
Okay.
There's another frame, but
you said it's been released, but it looks like there's cards missing. So.
Well, that's just the ornate frame.
Oh, the ornate frame version. And she's still doing releases on that one.
No, the whole thing was released as of December.
Well, then why don't you have all the cards?
Because she didn't release one with the whole entire thing that my computer would handle.
Oh,
the file was too big.
Okay.
She did. It's on.
So you have all the individual releases, and then
Right.
you're just adding on the ornate frame.
Right.
Okay.
It was the file was so big that Knit Companion, it'll open it and then it freezes.
Oh yeah.
So I put it into my notes.
Okay.
And notes will handle it, but not everything.
Okay.
So I've got half of it in Knit Companion and half of it in notes.
Wow.
That's okay. I'll deal with it. It's all right. I can,
That's really cool.
It's very cool. And then the cups one, the chalices one that I bought. Let's see. Can I do it?
Oh, so that one was the major arcana.
That's the major arcana,
Okay.
which is finished. She has finished that entire stitch along. It's available on Witch's Gardens Crafts. The files are all uploaded onto Gumroad, and you can download the entire thing. It's huge. But even if you do it on 16 count, I think it was 14 by 16, something like that.
Okay.
Which is, I can handle that.
All right.
That might make a pillow or something. But of course, so I had to buy
the chalices.
The chalices, that's the outline. That's what the outline looks like. The cards haven't started to be released yet. She'll release those. That was released April 1st, and the cards are going to come
Oh, and it has the
May
same
1st.
moon motifs around the frame.
Yes.
So they'll all kind of coordinate, which is really nice.
Yes. And so, of course, you know what's going to happen next year.
Oh, you're going to be doing all of them.
I'll have to do
There'll
them
be
all.
wands or
There'll be wands, there'll be
swords,
swords, there'll be pentacles, and what's the
you already
rods?
Did I said rods.
The
so we have chalices, rods, swords, and pentacles in the major arcana. So that's all 5.
That's it. Yeah. So
Holy
you know I'm going to be working on that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's okay.
Wow.
Because tarot is so my jam.
Yeah. I
love
true.
it.
That's
I
true.
love it. And when I saw that, I was like, oh. I mean, the frame itself struck me as being so pretty.
It is pretty.
And I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
And I am loving her Dark Goddess stitch along.
I am. Well,
so
what I've stitched of it.
I probably have further.
I have not
further
stitched
along than you.
Anything in like 4 weeks, I think.
I would go into withdrawal.
Well, I worked late to prepare for vacation, and I had all the wedding stuff, and then we did the wedding and the honeymoon.
And that was 2 weeks.
And then this past week, I worked late to catch up, and I haven't done any stitching. So
yeah,
I'm itching. I'm itching for a stitching.
So those are my
new stitchy stuff. Okay,
right.
So next is whips, and we can do new starts.
No, how about finishes?
Oh, sorry, finish. You're right. It's finished. Why did I not write? Oh, I put new start. Yeah, you're right. Finishes comes first.
I have my outline from last time.
Finishes. Yes, finishes.
Finishes. Yay!
Do it.
So I don't have any fully finished stuff because I have one more.
I don't have any finished. This is your show.
I gotta fully finish my small.
I do too. Yeah.
For Vegas, which we're going to at
the end
2
of
weeks.
April. 2 weeks after we record this video. So this is going to come out. We're recording this on Sunday and it'll publish on Friday.
So it'll be a week when this comes out. We'll be the next
In
week.
Vegas.
We'll be in Vegas.
But we'll talk about that more in plans.
Yeah. So so I have to fully finish that, and I haven't finished it
Okay.
yet. So I have finishes. I finished Schrodinger's cat.
Yay.
I haven't signed it and dated it yet. But this one, you're going to have to insert a picture of what it looks like when it glows in the dark, because his skeleton here and up his little tail is done in glow in the dark floss. And it says something different when it's glow in the dark. So yes, I'm a nerd. What can I say? I'm probably going to keep this one for me.
Who did the pattern?
Oh, sorry. Yes, the pattern is by Zabra Design Studio, and she's on Etsy, and this is 14 count white Aida.
And just called for colors.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She does it in black, on a black.
Oh, yeah.
And I decided I didn't want to.
Well, it's all outlined in black. Like the stitches there's a stitch outline in black.
I mean, if I really wanted to, I could stitch black the whole thing, because I have the Cone of Doom. But why would anybody bother? I know. I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, I guess some people do. That is definitely not for me.
Nope, I wouldn't. But that was my Schrodinger's cat. And then,
oh my goodness,
we need a drum roll for this one. He's not fully finished because he still needs to be beaded.
Wow.
Father, son.
Holy cow.
I still have to sign and date him, but he's not beaded yet. But I finished all of the stitching.
That is gorgeous.
I know. I don't know if you can see how, maybe if I
all
turn
the
it a little
metallics.
bit. Yeah, the whole entire outline is metallic.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to take that and hold it closer to the screen so you can see the metallics.
Okay, because I can't get up.
Holy moly. You can keep talking.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of work, but it's so worth it because he's so great. A lot of quarter stitches, especially in the eyes, but you need that in order to get the character. You know, sometimes you have to do what you got to do. So it's all the called for colors, and I have the called for Mill Hill beads that I still have to put on there.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And if you're working with metallics, once again, use shorter threads and put a little wax on the first 1/4 inch and the last 1/4 inch, and then cut it in between where the wax is. So you always have wax on the end, so that's on the spool, and it doesn't fray at all if you use just a little bit of wax. And yeah, the wax makes it dull, but you're going to bury that part of the thread.
You're not
anyway.
stitching with that part, right? So
you're going to bury
put the
it.
wax on the part that you're actually stitching with.
Right, exactly. And I think maybe the wax helps to keep the metallic buried, because you know sometimes when you use one thread and you're outlining, you go to bury it,
slips out.
And then you have to actually do a little loop extra, because otherwise it's going to pull out as soon as you pull the stitch.
Yeah.
Well, the wax makes it a little sticky and it doesn't pull out. So I think that actually helps too.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Nice.
And he's ready for beading.
He's beautiful. Now,
Yeah.
Did you say the artist and the fabric?
I did not yet. It's light blue, 14 count Aida, and you have the book up there because my mind just went blank.
It's like a Enchanting Cross Stitch, I think it's called.
No, I think it's Bewitching. Hang on.
Bewitching Cross Stitch.
Hang on, I'll pull him up.
By Jean Elliott.
I'll pull him up.
I can read it from here.
Can you?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Bewitching Cross Stitch by Jean Elliott. I have a bookshelf up there, and
That's where we were looking.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if I put the notes in the.
in your app.
I did not. I'm a bad girl.
So the book is called Bewitching Cross Stitch by Joan Elliott, and there'll be a link down below in the comments.
Yeah, and she did Mother Moon also.
It's the same book.
Same book, and her patterns are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So another one of the designers I highly recommend. So this is my Mario one. He's finished.
So she decided on next level dude,
which is pretty.
For the saying in the middle.
Yeah, because dude is such a.
That's a very 90s word.
Yeah, I think it is. And anyway, Mario is by Choco Coco Stitch.
It's just called Mario.
I don't know if it's called Mario Home, or if you just look it up under Mario you will definitely find it. And this is just 14 count white Aida out of my stash in the called for colors, but it said Home Sweet Home, and come on, I'm just not a home sweet home kind of gal.
Eh.
So I had next level dude.
Snark it up a little bit.
And
That's
this
cute.
may end up going to a grandchild.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, and I'm thinking I know which one too, because she really likes the older games.
Yeah.
And still plays them. And then,
holy cow, lots of finishes. Well,
I know.
It's been 2 months and she didn't have to plan a wedding.
That was her problem. I answered a lot of questions, but I didn't have to do any of the planning. Yeah. And so here's my double toil and trouble.
So pretty.
Almost done, except when I was mounting it, I noticed I missed a corner. So I'm going to put the little picot in the corner. That'll take me all of 2 seconds. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
And Toil and Trouble is by Primrose Cottage Stitches. The design is by Lindsay Waite. The fabric is called Lavender, and it's by Atomic Ranch, and it's 28 count linen. And I did 1/2. So basically, if you could do the math, which I can, 28 divided by 2 is 14. So it's your basic 14 count. But I have a lot of material left.
Yeah, wow. Such a pretty purple, though.
Yeah, I like it. I really like it. What was I going to show people? I was going to show people something. Oh, yeah. So here on Schrodinger's cat, this little piece of fabric, this little piece of floss right here, I forgot to kind of take it out, but there's a reason that it's there.
So Bridget had a chronic problem of her not leaving enough margins on her fabric.
Yeah, definitely I did have that problem. And I used to always start in the middle. And then I would be upset because I'd have like 5 inches on one side and 2 inches on another side or something.
And you clearly didn't make it to the middle.
Either I wasn't doing it in the middle, or I wasn't in the right part of the pattern, or I had changed up the pattern and forgotten to figure that in when I started stitching it. And yeah, it was a chronic problem, I swear to God. So we got these really cute little ruler keychain things from the Black Needle Society when we were at StitchCon 2022. Yeah. And so what I've been doing is I measure in like 2 inches there, measure in 2 inches there, and then I stick this little extra piece of whatever out of my Orts jar in the corner. And then when I go to my pattern, I just count in from whatever the corner is, because that way I can't screw it up. And then whatever I have left on this side, when I frame it or whatever I'm going to do with it, I can cut this off. And then look, I've got pieces for more cards. This whole bit down here, that's another picture, you know. But I'm actually getting much, much better at figuring out my margins ahead of time. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter how old you are. You can still learn shit.
Oh, yeah. And there's always new stuff coming out, which is fun.
Yes.
So that's the end of your whips.
No, that's the end of my finishes.
Oh, your finishes. Sorry. Right. Finishes.
Have you had your coffee this morning?
God, no. I'm so tired.
Kind of shows.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to take a minute.
So
Your turn to talk.
So now we can do whips. Because I have no finishes. All right. So my first whip is Yggdrasil, or might be pronounced Yggdrasil. It's also called the Celtic Knot Tree of Life or something on Etsy. This is, let's see, this is what it looks like. This is what it will look like finished.
Eventually.
There's no real picture, so the picture is, this is the picture that she uses on Etsy, so I feel okay showing it, even though it's kind of a grid. And I'm doing it in my own colorway. So this is what I've got so far. So I have worked on it. Oh, good.
You got a lot more done.
Yeah. So this is up here is like an orange color, and then this is like a bright pink.
It is.
So it's going to be orangey, bright pink, and then as it expands outside the tree, it'll get like a darker and darker colors. And I'm stitching this on, let's see, I have notes in here.
Wapo.
Yeah, it's Wapo Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have it in info? Key, markup. I don't know where I put it. I put it somewhere. Oh, man. And I had, oh, here it is.
On your card.
Okay, so the designer is 2x2 Stitch Art on Etsy. I'm doing it on Wapo Blue, 36 count. The fabric is by Needle Bling Designs, and I'm stitching 36 count 2/2.
Mm-hmm. And I think 2x2 Designs is also from Ukraine.
Yeah,
right?
that's a Ukrainian designer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this pattern was not expensive at all.
No, but it's gorgeous.
I'm loving it. Oh, whoa. I don't know what's going on here.
What'd you do to your...
No, I just touched a thing.
touched a thing.
So my next whip is Harder Daddy, and I can't show you the picture because the picture is the pattern. But you'll get the gist. That's what I've done so far. So last time I think I just had the handprint and a little bit around it, and now I started working on turned to the other cheek, so to speak.
You had a picture for it last month.
I did, but it's not on here.
Rather, last Flosstube.
I did, but it's not on here. So Harder Daddy is by Ezo Studios on Etsy. It's spelled EEZO, and I'm doing it on 18 count white Aida. I used my own colorway for the skin tones because I wanted it to match my own skin tones a little bit better, and it was a little dark.
It's still a little dark.
I have very...
She's got a white
Well,
butt.
you gotta have shadowing, okay? Otherwise you can't see. So I just gotta fill in the cheeks, and then there's a thong and a little bit of legs, and the whole thing is in a pretty heart shape. And then at the top it says Harder Daddy, but I might change the verbiage. I don't know. I don't know if I
really.
Yeah, I might change it to something else.
I don't know. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's fun, and this is like a super simple stitch. It's not complicated. I added some quarter stitches in the legs because the way that the outline goes. But you don't need to. The pattern's perfectly fine, and there's so many stitches you probably won't even notice, especially on 18 count. I'm just type A personality for sure. Yeah. So I really only have the fill-in and then the black, and then I'm done with that one. So that's Harder Daddy. Let's see. The next one is, this is the Florical.
I'll hold it up while you read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I've done so far.
And you have green attached to it.
I have floss stuck to it.
Oh, it's coming along really good.
Yeah. So that's the Florical by Noctiflora. I was part of the divination box by Starlight Stitchery. I'm stitching it on 14 count navy Aida by DMC, 2 strands.
That's really pretty.
So from last time I did this side panel here and then the banner at the top from last time. And then I finished the eye and did some outline. I don't think I had that last time either.
No,
this is really popping on this blue.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. And then this is what it's going to look like finished.
So you're close.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah, I only have one side and then these rays right here over the top of the crystal ball, which is cool. So I'm thinking this is going to be my smalls exchange for StitchCon.
For June.
For June.
Yeah,
because I have the other ones done. But that's it. I mean, that's a month's worth of stitching because I basically had to.
So did you already did the Love is Love one from?
I finished it. I finished it.
You finished it,
but I did not fully finish it.
Okay, all right.
I did not fully finish.
Not yet.
A damn
so
thing.
What are you using next week when we go to Vegas for your?
I'll fully finish that.
Oh, you haven't fully finished.
No,
it
so I have.
Oh, okay.
I have the. Actually, it's right here. If you give me a second, I'll get it.
What I want to know is how you're going to finish it.
Yeah.
Because you showed it last time, but it wasn't finished. So how are you going to?
So, well, we can talk about that in plans. So
okay.
I grabbed them, and then we'll talk about it in plans.
Okay.
So those are all the whips that I worked on.
Okay.
All right. So, time for Bridget's whips.
I only have 4 this month.
Oh, only 4.
Only 4.
I think I had 4 too.
Because I didn't give Yggdrasil any love, and I didn't work on the Star Maiden either, because I got so wrapped up in the chalice stitch along.
Oh yeah.
That I just started going like crazy. So.
Oh, is this the new fabric too?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I got the new fabric, this is
the April Bee Stitch Me fabric.
This is the April Bee Stitch Me fabric, which I'll just hold up here. It's called Ledger, And you can see, I don't know if you can see, it's like a lightish blue with a lot of gold highlights in it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see it better on this side. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell what comes off on the camera and what doesn't. But anyway, when I saw the chalices design, I thought, wow, that's going to really look nice.
Oh my gosh.
Because, yeah, see, I got a lot done.
Wow.
This was just released, what's today?
We're recording on the 9th.
Okay, so this is what I've got. I didn't start it till the 2nd.
Oh, that's wild.
So this is what I got done in 8 days.
Must be nice.
It's wonderful.
Some of us have to work for a living.
I work part-time.
All right.
In the morning.
I'm so
but
jealous.
I was sick for 2 of the days, so I didn't work. Yeah. But that didn't mean I didn't stitch. You got sick. Because I could still stitch.
So you can still stitch.
I could still stitch.
When the first time I got COVID, I couldn't do anything for like 3 days.
Well, the first day, I think I was so hopped up on cold medicine that I just kind of watched TV and played on my phone.
Zone out.
I didn't think I stitched at all, but then I saw this and I got really excited.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks really pretty, doesn't it?
Yeah, look.
And I love...
This is great fabric for that pattern.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
I was like, oh, and then, so I'm already planning in my stash what fabric I'm going to use for the rest of them.
Okay.
Because I want them all to have the same kind of lightly modeled look.
Yeah.
And I think that the gold pops against the gold in the fabric. It really complements it. Oh, and of course, chalices represent water in the tarot. And so you need a blue.
Gold is really
you need a blue. Yeah. And I was like, oh, perfect. So that's one of my whips.
Yeah.
And that's
a new start.
That's a new start and a whip and
a new stitchy
and new stitchy fabric.
All rolled into one.
Oh, and by the way,
oh no.
Putting 2 elastics on the bobbins didn't work either.
Is this broken or is this a bag?
What? No, it's my bag.
I thought it was broken.
No, this is just the bag that the fabric came in.
Okay.
I saved the bag because whatever extra fabric I have is going to go back in there with the card.
Okay.
So I'll remember what fabric it is and where it came from. But I wanted to show you something else that I decided to do. Because when you have multiple whips and a lot of them use the same colors, I really got sick of digging through 4 whips to find the 422 or the 327 or because the honey towel, the Santas, they all use these golds and browns. And I'm like, I'm sick of it. So what I did was I looked at the color key that came with the pattern for the chalices. And it said that I only had 2 stitches of this because it's only showing the color key for the outline.
Oh.
Okay, so far. So when the cards get released, it'll be a color key and it'll show how much you need for each card. So what I did was I went into my other whip and I said, okay, I need this much for 347. I took a piece of the cardboard bobbins that I don't use anymore. So I have a bunch of those. And I just penciled 347, put what I needed on that, and that's going in here.
Okay.
And then I did the same thing
Because you only needed
with the 422 because I only need a little bit. So I took a little bit off the bobbin and stuck it on here. And I think people who do floss drops kind of do the same thing, right? They guesstimate how many strands they need and then they put that in the kit. And I'm like, this is so much easier than when I kit it up, just take, like if I think I'm going to need a yard or 2 yards or whatever, throw that on there.
Yes.
And it tells you, most of the patterns will tell you like how many stitches, how many skeins, and you can kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be like over 1,000 stitches, then just throw in a skein.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
Right.
Just
throw it in.
Yeah, just throw it in. I mean, what are you going to do? Just combine them together later. So that was my tip for the week.
Okay. I think we're up to like 5 tips this week, so we're good.
Yeah, well, anyway, yeah. So I'll put that one to the side.
Cool. That's coming out really good.
That's why I got excited about it. I'm like, So after I got that one started, and then I saw the tarot one, I was like, I'm hooked.
Yes.
I'm so hooked.
she's now in for the long haul.
That's it. Yeah, I have my plans for years to come. At least 2. So this is the honey bread towel, or bread cloth, as it were, from the kitchen collection. So that's the kitchen collection. It's a leisure arts. It was put out in the 80s, but bees are back in style now, and bees are my thing. So
these patterns don't look 80s. I mean, 1 or 2, maybe a little bit, but they're pretty. I mean, some of them are pretty modern looking.
Yeah, I don't think
they did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, especially like that one that says kitchen. That's
aged
really
very
cool.
well.
So remember last time you dared me to put this pattern in the middle.
Yes.
Instead of matching the other ones.
Instead of matchy.
So
Ooh.
I did. So remember I only had one corner done last month. So I've gotten all 4 corners are done, and the center says honey.
Is this a fully finished?
No, it's almost fully finished. I think I even signed and dated it. But you know how much I hate confetti. And there's like 5 or 6 little bees buzzing around here.
Oh, I see.
that are not going to be sewn because the other day I went on Amazon and I looked and I found, because I couldn't find pins. I was looking for buttons.
Okay.
Bee buttons, and they were too big. They were like an inch, and that would just completely overpower the skep.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, there's supposed to be 40,000 bees in this skep, so obviously they're not going to be to scale.
No.
Because they'd be minuscule. But what I did find, I had the idea the other day was, what about beads? So I went on Amazon.
A bee bead?
And I found bee beads, and they're tiny. They're like a 1/4 inch, and they're gold, and they're metal. So they can go through the wash. It'll be fine. I'm going to I ordered, I think I'm getting like 100 of them or something, and they were like $7. So I'm going to sew bee beads on here instead of making, confetti beads. But that's the honey bread towel.
I love
and the next time you see it, it'll have bee beads on it.
So pretty. You did such a good job.
So it's still technically a whip because it isn't
but only the beading
finished.
Left.
But only the beads
like
are
father
left.
son.
Yeah, only the beading is left. I kind of like, some people leave this, they finish the piece and they don't do the back stitch for like months and months.
Yeah.
I'm like that with the beading.
Yeah.
I don't mind back stitch at all because I think it makes the pattern pop.
I back stitch as I go.
The beading. Oh, the beading. I'll get there.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, you think I like bees? Yeah, not much. So then,
if you're new here, you might not know, Bridget and my dad are beekeepers. So she's a little obsessed these days.
A little obsessed.
Yeah, I didn't even work on the Dark Goddess Sal.
So the Dark Goddess Sal.
So pretty.
You want me to take it out of the hoop?
No, you don't have to.
Well,
you can if you want. Oh, okay.
You can't really see the goddesses.
All right.
So this way you can kind of see more of the goddesses.
So cool.
So she has released 6 cards so far, and I'm lazy on
They're
this
not
one.
Cards. They're this one's goddesses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
I misspoke. So there's been 6 released so far, and I am not
12,
doing the
right?
frame until, I don't know if it's 12 or 16. I think it's, no, I don't know. However many it is, I'll be doing them all.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention.
Okay.
Because I didn't, I did cut the fabric. So hopefully it's however many fits on the fabric.
Yeah.
And the fabric is by Bestitch Me, and the fabric is 16 count Ada, and it's called It's a Mystery. And I thought it was perfect for this because they're dark goddesses. So they're supposed to be on,
mysterious,
darkish fabric. And you're doing it on navy, right?
Yes. Actually, it's right behind me. Give me a second. All right. Yeah. I'm doing it on 18 count navy.
Yeah, and I'm doing it on 16 count.
Here we go. That's as far as I got. I still have to outline the Morgan. I outlined the bird, the raven, and I did more of the frame down here. But
it's okay.
I have quite a ways to go.
It's not a contest. You'll still be stitching on that, and I'll be on to new things.
Yes.
Anyway, but so this is what I've gotten done so far, and I think the fabric really complements.
Yes, it's
the
gorgeous.
Stitching. I love it. And so far we have, and I didn't do the frames ahead of time. Like with the chalices, I'm doing the frames ahead of time because I can count and I can see clearly, and I could probably do the frames ahead of time on this one because the frames are really pretty.
That is pretty.
But she's got Sekhmet,
but
Persephone.
The frames in this one are a little more complicated, so I feel like there's a little more room to make a mistake.
Well, there is, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't kind of gone.
Yeah, I'm also
jumped ahead
stitching
and
the
done
frame
them.
as I do the goddesses because I tend to mess that up.
Which is normally what I do. I usually wait and I stitch the frame as I got. But with the chalices, you've got the chalice on each side. You've got a pattern. So you can clearly see if you screw up.
Okay.
Because if I can clearly see, then I probably won't screw up.
Okay.
I've already taken some of it out twice.
Oh,
but,
yeah?
you know,
okay.
There's this little dyslexic thing going on. I've noticed that if the pattern has like one stitch to the right, sometimes I'll stitch it to the left instead, and then I won't notice it until I get it further down, and then I pick it up and look at it again, and I go, wait a minute, that looks odd, and I'll realize, oh, the stitch went the wrong way. And I don't know if that's, I don't know, but I do it often enough that I've noticed it's pattern. So she's got Sekhmet, Persephone, Freya, Morrigan, Kali, and Hecate. So, yeah, sorry, it's kind of like a big-ass commercial for Witch's Gardens Crafts. But hey, I'm sorry. When I find somebody that, you know, the designs really speak to me, I'm going to stitch them.
I like them. She does a good, so my designs are more words because I find fonts easier to mess around with, and hers are very much like people and things and animals and stuff, and I'm not good at that. I really admire that. And the symbolism is really cool with the dark goddesses.
Oh, yes.
I enjoy that a lot.
Oh, yes.
Oh, here we go. We got the Santas.
We've got the Santas. So I should have shown you for Santa's Friends, because that actually is a finish.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't show as a finish.
Okay.
But
you want me to help you?
I guess if I pull it, no, it's not going to work.
I got this.
So that's the finish for Santa's Friends there. That I only had like this part in the house done last time. So I finished all of him. That's for Santa's Friends. And the one I've started now, the whip, is the Traveling Santa, which I've got his feet done. And, you know, you can see I have to count over and then start part of the frame and do the feet. And that's what he's going to look like. Yep. Whoops, that way. Yeah.
It's hard because it's backwards.
I know. So the Traveling Santa, he's going to look like that. And this is a Sue Hillis Designs, and there's all 12. I'm only doing 10. Only, she says. Only. This is the last one on this side.
Yay.
So when I'm done with him, then I'm going to have a place here that I'm going to maybe do a little border, maybe do Merry Christmas or Joyous Noel or poinsettias or something. Yeah. I'll do some kind of thing here. And I'm going to have to finish off this edge, and I don't know if I still don't know if I'm going to bother doing a border or what I'm going to do with the rest of it. But this is if you haven't seen it before, this is my table runner of Santas.
So there's the 5 that are completed.
There's actually 6.
Well, there's 5 completed.
Well, 5 are completed.
And that's what's showing on the screen right now.
And then I've got 4 more to do on this end. And yeah, so what is it? It's only April.
It's April. Wow, you're ahead of schedule. It was like a month or so you were thinking.
Yeah, but then I got into these stitch-alongs.
Uh-oh. That's right.
Yeah. So, but that's okay because, you know, the cups gets released. I'm going to hold off on starting the tarot.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm doing the Dark Goddess and the cups one.
Yeah.
So I may hold off on doing the tarot one so I can work on the Santas. Because I would dearly, dearly love to finish this in time to put on the table this year. You know?
Yeah.
Because, hey,
I
want people to see it.
You want to flip it around so you can roll it up easier?
Actually, yeah. It's got to get rolled, baby.
Holy moly.
But like I said, this is Sue Hillis Designs. This is on 14 count. I think it's actually 13 and a half count, but it's monk's cloth. And it's a great big bolt that I bought.
So what happened up here? Is this where Tweezer pooped?
That's Tweezer.
That's bird poop.
Well, it's wiped off.
It's wiped off bird poop.
Yeah, because it's not green, but that's, yeah.
It'll wash out.
Oh, it will. And it's not going to, am I going to stitch up that high?
If this is a table runner.
I won't be stitching up that high. It's a table runner, which means it's going to get food on it.
Yeah.
Might. It's going to get food on it. I'm not going to fuss about it. I'm not going to worry about it because my enjoyment comes in the stitching of it. So like when I give things away, I don't
You already sucked all the joy out.
Well, other people can enjoy them in the use, and I enjoyed in the making. And while I may like use more OxyClean to get these things clean than I normally would bother with table linens because I made it, I am not going to get all upset if it,
gets a stain.
If it gets a stain.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have left it out. And that's what happened. I was working on it. I left it on my table. The bird's cage is right over here. The ceiling fan is above. He likes to go up high and on everything below.
That's what birds do.
That's what birds do.
Birds are messy.
Mm-hmm. They are. They are. That's why we have tile floor.
Yeah.
And this doesn't really fit in a project bag, so it just sort of goes in like that. So those are my whips. Those are the things I gave some love to the past couple months. And my finishes. That came out of that bag.
It came out of the
This is 676, right? 680. Oh no, it's 680. Where did this one come out of? It doesn't matter. It's going to go in the Santa bag. Okay. It'll come home with me, and I'll figure it out later. Right. But that's what I was doing, and that's why I was like, no, I can't do that. I need to just put it on a cardboard bobbin, and how much I think I need, and stick that in. Yeah,
I don't like having knots and messes and stuff in my project bag.
And I have been watching other people's floss tubes lately. There seems to be a lot of floss tubers going into different systems for
organization,
their DMC, and most of them are going for the hanging models.
Yeah, the floss drops.
Yeah, and I just think that takes up too much room. I don't know, but I see them, you need like this much space for them to hang, and they have this idea, and I've heard this said so many times, but just because you hear something a million times doesn't make it true. Fake news and all that. But I hear people say all the time that the floss has a kink, and that when you bobbinate, that your floss always has a kink. And I even heard one floss tuber say that she was going to have to iron her floss.
So listen, it does have a kink. That is factually true.
But it comes right out.
Well, yes and no. If you're cross stitching with embroidery floss, the kink won't show because the stitches are really, really small. Usually the biggest we do is 14 stitches in a linear inch. That's tiny.
Mm-hmm. I've even done 8.
You will not see any kink if cross stitch. However, if you're using embroidery floss for standard embroidery, those stitches can be much bigger, as big as you want. And yes, you will see the kink in your stitches, which is what you don't want.
But you don't have to iron your floss just to go from bobbinated to hanging when you're doing cross stitch.
I mean, if you don't like the look of how it is when it's organized, you could iron it. I
don't know.
There's no true, like, I don't see any functional reason to do that, just aesthetically, for cross stitch. But if it's for embroidery, there's definitely a functional reason to let your floss hang and not put it on a bobbin, because it does kink. It's cotton.
If you're going to do satin stitch and it's going to be like this long, then you might see.
Right, exactly.
Otherwise,
that's a good example.
You're really not going to see
even like a lazy daisy. That stitch can be longer too, and if you have a kink in that particular part of your floss, you would see it, and be disappointed.
And you know what? You're going to iron your work when you're done, and it's going to come right out.
Well, I don't do enough embroidery to know if that's true. Oh yeah, okay.
And I've always bobbinated, even my embroidery floss that I embroider with, I bobbinate. And if there's a little kink, when you iron from the back side, you put a towel down and you spray a little water on it and you iron it, everything comes out. All of the wrinkles and the kinks and all of that. Anyway.
So if it's just cross stitch, you don't have to worry about kinks in the floss. You won't see it in your stitches.
Yeah. And the bobbins, I have the boxes, the bobbin boxes, they're big.
Yeah.
And I have 4 of them. And 3 of them hold all of my DMC colors. And the 4th one is just for metallics,
I have
variegated.
5.
You have 5.
And 4.5 of them are full of DMC colors. Oh,
really?
Well, I collected all. I'm trying to collect all the colors. So, dog barked. I don't know if you heard that. I'm collecting all the colors. So, mud. Anyways, another country I heard from.
But I mean, they stack about that high, and about that wide. And I think that's perfectly reasonable.
I do like having it more compact organization. That's just my preference.
And they're in numerical order.
They're in numerical order.
Easy to find,
although
easy to put away.
I have discovered, and I'm not naming names, that not all patterns list their flosses in numerical order. So if you're a designer, it's really, really helpful, at least it is for me, to either list all of the colors in numerical order or alphabetical order if they have names and they're not numbers, or in color order, like rainbow order. Because if they're just random, it's really, really hard to find that symbol, or really, really hard to find that color to then move on to the next color.
Do you know what I do?
What do you do?
When I have a project and it has like 40 colors and they're not in numerical order.
Do you put your bobbins in the order of the...
I type them into an Excel file, put it in numerical order, and then I pull them all out and then put them in on a ring in numerical order. Okay. And then it doesn't matter, because when I look up the symbol, I can go to that number. Okay. But I only do that in the Excel file to kit it up. Yeah. But I find it's easier because then I don't miss any. Yeah. Because I always miss them. Yeah. Because my boxes are in numerical order, so I want to get like all the 3s to 6s are here, the 7 to 9s are here, that kind of thing.
And some people put their flosses in color order, which is really, really nice. But it's hard if it's random. That's really hard to find.
But I'm not a color-oriented person. I'm more a number-oriented person.
Yeah, me too. I'm just saying, like, if you're designing a pattern and it has more than, say, 5 colors or so, if you put them in some kind of order, it really helps people.
Yeah, and a lot of times the pattern software that you're using will put it
order it for
in order if you click that button.
If you do it.
So click the button. Make my life easier.
So
those are the whips.
All right. So after whips, we have plans. All right. So plans.
Oh boy.
Bridget and I are going to 3 cross-stitch conventions over the next 3 months. At the end of April, we have Stitch Shenanigans in Vegas, which is put out by 1884 Stitchery. Mm-hmm. This is, I think, the second Stitch Shenanigans, and the first one was in, you said, New Mexico?
I think she said the first one was in New Mexico.
So if you're going to that, you might want to look away. But my smalls exchange, I'm going to use this small. It's actually 8 inches. It's not 6, but it's Summer Landscape, also called Landscape Number 8 by Stitch Patterns on Etsy on 14 count white Aida. And I just did the call for colors. I'm going to put this in a hoop decorated with washi tape, and I'll probably add a couple of things.
I just remembered new Stitchy Stuff that I brought and forgot to talk about after.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
So plans. So I'm going to finish this, and I will definitely take a video or pictures before I give it away so I can show you it finished. And we'll probably do like videos or pictures from Stitch Shenanigans.
Of course we will.
We will. And then in May, we're doing Stitch in the Wild, which is here in Fort Lauderdale, put on by Garon Stitchery.
Which means we don't have to go to a hotel. We can go home and sleep in our own beds.
And this might be the only time, because Garon Stitchery relocated from Fort Lauderdale to Alabama. I forget where in Alabama. But they kept it in Fort Lauderdale, but the next one,
well, they probably already had a contract with the venue. Yeah.
So that one I'm doing, this is Love is Love by Notorious Needle on 14 count white Aida. And, I also did both of these with, I'm trying out a new method of stitching, and I'm calling it cross stitch for perfectionists, where the backside is basically...
Look at those backs.
Perfect.
Can you believe it?
So, so I'm also probably going to just frame this in a hoop with washi tape, I think, as decoration. I haven't found rainbow washi tape, so I might just pick a color and use that. Gary's favorite color is green, so maybe I'll do green. And then for StitchCon, which is in June, and that is...
And we're going to Weekend A.
We're going to Weekend A, and that is put on by Just Keep Stitching, Flosstube, and sponsored by Keepsakes. Cross Stitch is it Keepsakes Cross Stitch Emporium, or is it just Keepsakes?
I don't know. They just call it Keepsakes.
In
It's
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do that one. I'm gonna do the Florical, I think. And this I'm gonna do in a what is it called? It's not a flat lay. It's called
the hinge thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I was just watching Pam and Steph's Flosstube from 4 weeks ago, and they said the hinge thing is out.
Oh. Well, I've never even done one before, so I want to. And this is a square pattern, so I wanted to do some kind of square frame situation.
You could probably still do it anyway.
Yeah.
Or a square, or a little square.
Because I've never done that before, so or maybe I'll just frame it, but I'll do like a couple of layers.
I was kind of surprised because I was like, wow, it's out before I even
did it. Right? Oh well.
Yeah.
So maybe I won't do that then.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why it's out.
So those I have to do. I have deadlines.
Yes.
So I have to fully finish those projects.
Yes.
And then after that, I want to do the cross stitch. I want to finish filming the cross stitch on a t-shirt tutorial we finished
mine
filming yours,
right.
And then I want to finish filming mine, and then we can edit them.
And then we have to do the comparison.
Post them and the comparison.
Yeah.
So those are my plans probably for the next couple of months, because I still have to do our taxes and I still have to send out thank you cards for the wedding. So
I don't have plans. I'm just going to stitch on everything.
All the things.
So my plans are to keep working on the Darkata Sal, to keep working on the Chalices Sal, to bead Father Son.
And I gotta bead the honey towel.
My honey bread, my skep bread towel. And then when I think when I finish beading those, depending on if I find the right fabric, or if I have the right fabric in my stash, I may start the tarot one.
Oh, okay.
I might.
What about your smalls? Are you doing smalls exchanges?
Oh yeah. Well, the small exchange for StitchCon is done. That one's actually finished.
Which one was that?
The tarot needle book.
Oh, the Primitive Tarot Needle Book by
right.
Wild Violet.
Right. And I made 2 of those. So I have to fully finish the second one.
Okay.
And then,
so one for you, one for a gift, or you are
no,
gifting both?
One's going to be at Garon Stitcheries,
okay.
Stitching in the Wild, and one's going for StitchCon in June. And then I have the little Santa head, and I'm going to make that into an ornament. That one's going to be for Vegas. And the way I'm going to finish that is I'm not going to hoop it. I'm going to cut some very heavy cardboard backing, put felt across the back of that, or just leave the backing maybe, and lace it.
Okay.
Edge lace it.
Yeah.
And put a nice ribbon on the top.
Okay.
But I'm trying to find my edge lacing, and I may steal some of yours.
Okay.
Because
I don't know if I have. Yeah, I have lace, but it's not for edging. It's.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might have to go to the fabric store.
I'm going to have to look through my stash and see what I have. Fabric store? I'm in. I may have to go through my stash and see, what kind of laces and ribbons and things I have. If I decide to hoop it, I do have some red satin ribbon, but it's at Mom's because I use it for making cards.
Oh,
so I may have to go and get it. And I got to finish that off pretty soon. Yeah.
Okay.
Deadlines.
Right. Deadlines.
But I'll take a picture of it so we can see how that ends up going.
Okay. Sounds good. So I think that's it for us.
Yep. So hopefully your stitching is going well and you have your spring stitching all done and are in full gear. And if we've given you any ideas about more stitch-alongs you have to join, I apologize. We just, why not? We have to share our addiction.
Yes. Could be worse.
Yeah.
Could be worse. So until next time,
stitch on.